Welcome back to The Charismatic Voice. Today we're going to be listening to a new artist on this channel for the first time. Her name is Eivør Pálsdóttir, I believe is the right way to pronounce her last name. I did look this up. Eivør for sure is the right way to pronounce her first name. But the last name, when looking up in IPA, which by the way means International Phonetic Alphabet and not the beer, it's like for language nerds and opera singers. Her last name seemed to have a little bit of differing pronunciation examples offered. So if you all know exactly how to pronounce that last name, please tell me in the comments below. We're going to be listening to her for the first time. And this song is Tròdlabùndin, I believe. It's a song about spring, or at least that's what it says. However, I did look at the lyrics and it seems like it's more about a wizard enchanting somebody. So it's right up my alley, right? Yeah, wizard enchantment sounds great. Let's get to it.
Tròdlabùndin gjøptui mine sa Oi mine sa Og hjertan låar brennande bar Brennande bar
Wow. She has such a unique timbre. Wow. Also this venue is just incredible. It looks like it's on a farm overlooking like a gorge or something. Now, I didn't mention in the intro, Eivor is from the Faroe Islands, so that's between Iceland and Scandinavia. And so I understand from reading a little bit about her, she has a lot of variety in her singing. And she focuses on traditional folk songs a lot as well. So I think this is the traditional folk song route. But whoa, this voice seems so capable of different things. I'm really interested in the way that she's ornamenting. So sort of elaborating on the melody, if you will. Even just the way she reattacks notes is fascinating. You can hear that in this last 5 seconds for sure. Right there at the end, when she like reattacks that same note, she has an airier tone and then she attacks it again with a stronger tone. Sort of like it's probably a glottal attack essentially that happens right there. It is just her voice and a drum right now. And I don't see any other band members. She's got an amazing sense of pitch, but it somehow feels full at the same time without having other band members present. I think I was just so much in awe for this first minute. I'm going to go back and try and catch at least the first maybe 30 seconds before where I stopped. This was a lot to digest all of a sudden. I don't know. I wasn't expecting this. It's very enchanting.
Tròdlabùndin gjøptui mine sa Oi mine sa Og hjertan låar brennande bar Brennande bar
It almost sounds like she has like an extra echo behind her. I don't really think that is, it doesn't sound like there's a lot of production on this. It actually sounds like maybe that's extra resonance in her head, which is really interesting because she has a sound that's super focused here. Almost has like a slightly nasal quality to it. So it just zings out. But then she has this extra layer. She has so many layers in her sound. I think that's probably one of the things that grabbed me at first, why I was like, wow, this voice, incredible. She has these different layers of timbre that's just brilliant. And you can hear like air flowing through it, but also lots of like a condensed sound and focus on it. And then you hear these essentially like reattacks at the laryngeal level that give it some extra style. And it's funny, she's been doing these reattacks on the same note a few different times already, and it's just fascinating to me. And then she also did one where she switched from chest voice to head voice at one point as a style. Okay, we have to keep going. I have to finish this, but I could analyze her voice forever already just from the first minute. Wow. And so she's using ornamentation, like sort of like working on that chest break when you go from head voice to chest voice for a female voice. So she's working that break a bunch by sort of re-entering it. And then that gives it kind of like a little jiggle essentially to the larynx that causes that extra ornamentation that's happening a bunch. And it's just a fascinating ornamentation to me. I hear that in Native American music a bunch too as well. So this is fascinating to hear, and also think like, oh, how is Native American music then similar to music maybe from the Faroe Islands or from Scandinavian traditional folk music? I'm not sure. I'd love to find out though. This is just so fascinating. Also, listening to how she shifted vowels in there was really fascinating to me. She went from like an ah to an at one point, which you guys probably don't think like that's a big difference, but I think that's a really big difference. It's a really big, wide mouth shape. Vocal nerd. So we're going to go back just a little bit so I can catch that vowel transition again. Here we go. Again, reattack of the same note. And there she shifted vowels. I just got shivers. Whew. And I spent a lot of time on the first minute. Wow. She is using both the inhale and exhale here to make sounds, first of all. That's fascinating. A lot of singers don't do that. But it's almost like she's becoming her own beatboxer, but she's not making tons of mouth shapes. I think she's actually using a lot more throat articulation. So it sounds like she's using false chords, maybe in and out. Yeah, I think she's using them both in and out. It sounds kind of like a dragon. Wow. I need to listen to this more. Yeah. Whoa. No, we need more of that. So I was trying to figure out if she's phonating on the way in, which you can absolutely do. Phonation just requires your vocal cords to go wacka, wacka, wacka as air goes past. So you can do that while the air is coming in. Most people just aren't used to doing that, but there are various kinds of throat singing in particular that will do that. So I wonder if her culture has throat singing in it. This is amazing. So cool. This is like vocal percussion and singing together. So interesting to note right here, it's still strong, but right at this point is where it switched into her head voice. Before it was in her chest voice, and then she switched into a much stronger head voice to try and sort of cover up that register shift. Though she doesn't necessarily want to cover it, but it did kind of unify that amount of energy. I am really impressed by how steady she's keeping this beat. It can be really easy when you're singing, and for me playing the piano, people are like, oh, I'm going to get really caught up in this note, and then be like, oh, my beat has gone. And she's just keeping that beat really, really, really nicely. So let's catch this transition one more time. This is full chest voice. With that re-attack, nice. That's head voice. And re-entry into chest. Oh, cool. That was awesome. Hearing that re-attack of the notes again, really, really cool. So she's combining that with essentially this weaving in and out of chest and head voice as the melody, of course, descended. She's really good at flipping between her registers. She's just really, really good. She would be fantastic at yodeling. I guarantee you, if you handed her some yodeling, she'd be able to pick it up like that if she hasn't already done it. I don't know. This is my first time hearing her. But the way she's able to negotiate her registers is very, very impressive. Flipping that quickly and cleanly between registers is not an easy task. But she definitely is able to bring her chest voice really high in the way that a lot of modern mainstream music tends to push the chest voice higher, whereas a lot of classical music tends to take the head voice and bring it lower. Ideally, in vocal training, you want to have a little bit of crossover of both. So she almost sounds like if she were to sing pop music, she would do some more belting in it. But hear this folk music, it's fascinating to me to think, oh, maybe her particular culture chose to push a chest voice up in their traditions. I don't know. It's just fascinating to see how different genres of music work with chest and head voice in females. Okay, I'll keep going. Oh, whoa, cool. In case you guys are wondering what's inhale and exhale, look at the spot in her throat, that hollow right there. when it hollows out more, that's when she's taking an inhale or making sound on the in. And when it's flatter is when she's making sound on the out. So watch that just for a second. Cool transition. Wow. I've got shivers again. What is this sorcery? It is disturbing, profoundly disturbing, because I've got shivers and I don't understand why. I get shivers listening to music fairly often, but this kind of music, I'm like, well, I don't have amazing harmonies. Like, why am I getting shivers? It just feels like it's a spell. It feels like, I mean, it goes with the words that I read about this enchantment from a wizard. I hear that so profoundly. I hear some message behind everything, all of these crazy sounds that she's making in her throat. There is an intention that is being driven forward by that sound. This is really cool. Whoa. This was really, really eye-opening. That entire performance was a voice and drums. Most of the time, just one drum. It was genius. Her tonal center is great. I wonder if she has perfect pitch. And her ability to switch registers is flawless. Her ability to use that, especially that chest registration and the re-entering of that to ornament, is fascinating to me. I was really, really especially interested in the way she re-ornamented on the same note quite often. But this throat percussion, it's throat singing, I think, but it's done in a way that feels so percussive. I think it must originate from her island or from a specific genre of throat singing. It's just fascinating, really, truly fascinating. I feel like I have to do some digging and understand more and more. I loved the way that she was using both the inhales and the exhales to make these sounds, though. It allows for such a huge additional plethora of sounds that she can make. This woman is fascinating. Her vocalization, the sounds that she makes are fascinating. So thank you so much to all of you for recommending this. It was delightful. It was just delightful. I love your recommendation so much. I never would have discovered her without you. So thank you. If you want to make recommendations, put them down below this video, okay, in the comments of YouTube. That's where we look, and that's where we tally up the things that have been recommended as well. And if you want to come say hello to me, you can find me in live premieres on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m. Arizona time. You can also find me on Patreon, The Charismatic Voice, and my website. You can learn more about music and more about singing too at thecharismaticvoice.com. I hope to see you somewhere else soon. Thank you.